So, do you love it or leave it? Protagonists meet in the first 10% of the novel.
Love it. Almost all my books, it's like between probably chapter 3 is actually one of the latest that they meet. Because usually I
Mm-hmm.
like when I read, I like when they meet pretty early on. So I always try to write that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, love it or leave it. Dual point of view narration.
I love it. Yeah. I like to get into the heads of both characters. So I love it for sure.
Love it or leave it. Third person, past tense.
A little bit ambivalent on that one. Like I like it. I don't know if I love it. Like I read lots of first person as well, but I think for historical romance, I love it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
All right.
just
Love it or leave it. Third act, breakup, or dark moment.
I can leave that one. I have been writing more and more without like a big third act breakup just because I found when I'm reading, like I'm reading, you're going along, and especially when you write romance, you kind of know obviously the particular beats of romance. And so I'm almost like dreading that moment when I think that they're going to break up, or especially if it's like a miscommunication or something like that. So yeah, lately, because I have been writing more so books with like mystery and suspense in them. So I'm kind of finding my third act moment isn't so much of a breakup between the characters, but something external. So it might
Mm,
be a dark moment,
yeah,
but not so much because of their relationship, but a dark moment because of something else, if that makes sense.
makes sense. Yeah, yeah, totally. Okay, love it or leave it. Always ends with an epilogue.
I love it. I can understand sometimes not needing one, and lots of times when I'm writing, I kind of think, oh, maybe the story's done. Maybe I don't need an epilogue, but usually I do write one, even if it's fairly short, just to I kind of like that little glimpse into the future. So I love it. Yeah.
All right. And love it or leave it. Share research in your author's note.
I'd say it depends. Like I love it if it's something that contributes to the story or has been a major plot point, or maybe if it tells something that might be opposed to what a reader might have thought about the time period. But I leave it if it's something that is kind of just background information to the story, if that makes sense. Like if I took inspiration from a historical figure, I'll usually do a little author's note. But if it's just sort of research about the time period, then I wouldn't write anything extra about that.
Yeah, but the book with the lady bangers, there's an
Mhm.
author's note, hopefully about that one.
Yes. Yeah. And if I have read a book or something that has a lot more information, I usually will point people to where they can read more if they become interested in it as well. So
Nice. All right, and are there any other romance rules I didn't ask about that you like to break or play with?
I think I've probably mentioned most of them, like writing unconventional women. I would say sometimes I sort of describe my books as historical romance for a more modern reader in terms of like how I write and the characters I write. Like all is still completely plausible, is factual in terms of the historical part, but kind of keeping more of a modern reader in mind, if that makes sense,
Yeah, I think about that too myself. Like I'm not trying to please someone from a past era with my stories. My books are reflecting my experience as a modern person, and so therefore a modern reader will hopefully enjoy them.
Yeah. Like sometimes ideals that my characters might hold aren't necessarily those that most people at the time would have, but someone reading today most likely would. So like those kind of ideas come into play a little bit when I'm writing.